Monday, January 13th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus. We're brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. By the way, yesterday I ordered myself an Adam Richmond. It's great sandwich. Great sandwich. Thanks so much to Ike's. Thanks so much to all of you for being here. Please hit like and subscribe. Thanks to BetUS for sponsoring this live stream as well. And to our friends at the Dubliner, we got nothing but love for you, and we will get to all of that. But again, welcome back. We had ourselves, it used to be called Super Wildcard Weekend. I don't know when we lost the Super. We didn't have an awful lot of competitive games out there, but I think the better teams that are going to give us a really good divisional round all moved on. I think there's some very sexy matchups coming up in the near future of the NFL playoffs, and we kind of had to get through that opening round to get to, better part. And I think that we are going to get some really good, hopefully closer competitive football games from here on out. And, I still, even a bad football game in the postseason's got more gravity around it. So a lot of interesting stuff over the weekend, obviously. And we got a few things to talk about today. This won't be a tremendously long show. Not a lot of news around the 49ers actually happening, other than the fact that it looks like Dennis Allen is seriously now going to be considered for defensive coordinator if Robert Saleh is not particularly interested in the job. Jeff Ulbrich, not particularly interested in the job. Dennis Allen, it doesn't inspire me in any way, shape, or form. I've heard enough stories about how milquetoast bland Dennis Allen is from people that know him to make me think that doesn't sound very interesting at all. But it's great to have you all in here. Again, Sean Turner was just watching on Wake Up. Thank you very much, Sean. The fact that Larry can't admit Chico's a party school kind of flabbergasted me today, but oh well, what are you going to do? Our man Barry Ford, he's saying hello to Chef A. That means the chef is in here. That's 100%. We got Otis. We've got Valve Oil. We got all of our good friends in here today. We got Sporticus saying the Ravens look very Super Bowl-ish to me right now. Yeah, they do. And you start projecting and looking ahead to what we're going to get next weekend. I mean, find me a better game just on paper than Bills-Ravens. I mean, you got two MVP candidates going head-to-head. And look, I understand that MVP is a regular season award, but with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson going head-to-head in a playoff game, I hope. Is there a way we can just make sure that no MVP votes are returned until this game is played? Because I have a feeling that this game, if it really is between the two of them, has to serve as the tiebreaker. What a monster that one's going to be. Texans-Chiefs could be a little sneaky. We'll find out. Obviously, we've got one remaining wild card round game happening tonight in Arizona. Sadly, because of all the tragedy down in Los Angeles, we are going to go ahead and get ourselves Rams and Vikings from Let's Not Talk About Insurance Companies Stadium in Arizona. By the way, for those of you who are thinking about sip of the day action, that has already passed. We were up doing Wake Up earlier today, so that is already come and gone. Good morning, Barry. Mary sends her love to you and Jill. Drop this in the jar. It's a little too early for a bottle pull. I don't even have any bottles on the table here. I have no bottles available should I even want to pull. But you're right. It is a little bit early. Off-season bottle pulls will be fewer and further between, I'm guessing. But thank you very much, Barry. Thank you, Mary. And by the way, just in case Jillian is paying attention, it's Jillian with a G. She doesn't like the J. But just, you're the type of guy who seems detail oriented. You'd want to know that detail. Hello, Carl. Good to see you as always in here. Carl, a vital part of Team Plus. And, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no sip of the day. Rockin' New Era 84. He understands how the game is played over here. And thank you very much, Rockin'. Always a pleasure. Maybe just for you, I will declare this a swig of the day. Not bad. Not bad at all. Again, like and subscribe, my good friends. Thank you so much for being here. And I will just remind you all once again that there are plenty of games still coming up to lay your bets upon. There is an awful lot of action that's going to be coming down your way. Big playoff games. We're a week away from a national championship game. We got the Warriors out there tonight. We got Sharks hockey happening. So you want to go and make a few plays, you go make your plays over at BetUS. Right now, use promo code YouTube150 for 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Hopefully you've made your first deposit months ago and you're already enjoying everything being offered over on BetUS. Again, enjoy what's being offered by my good friend Ike. If you are in an Ike's delivery location, have them deliver you an Adam Richmond today for lunch. I had one yesterday. That is a delicious freaking sandwich. It's got like chicken fingers on it. It's got ham. It's got pesto. It's got cheese. It's just... there's a lot going on. It's got some avocado on there. It's like a kitchen sink level sandwich, and it's so good. I go a little red onion. I do it on French rolls. My man Ike has got a delicious sandwich for you. Sign up using the Ike's Reward app and start earning your way to prizes when you make your purchases. Free chips, free drinks, free sandwich when you sign up. And again, you still have just a short time to be entered in a chance to go to New Orleans, where Ike has now opened a restaurant, and Ike has got tickets to the big game that's going to be happening there. He's got airline tickets, he's got accommodations, and to have a chance to win that, go and sign up for the rewards program. Now, if you cannot make it to New Orleans, but you're still looking for a great bar, we got that covered too, baby. I know what you want. I know what you need. Sandwiches, betting mechanisms, and beers. Kenny and John at the Dubliner are ready for you. Come on down to the Dubliner, where you're going to watch your next Warriors game, maybe a playoff game. What are you doing tonight for the Monday night playoff wildcard game? Check out the Dubliner West Portal. And again, it's as simple as this. Muni drops you off right out front, picks you up right out front. Cannot be easier to get to any bar in San Francisco as it is to just hop on Muni and get to the Dubliner and West Portal. So thanks to my friends for the sponsorships. Thanks to everyone for putting us. I believe today will be the day we go over 10 million views officially here as a channel. So again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, my good friends. And again, every time you hit that like button, it pushes the show into the algorithm, whether the algorithm wants it or not. By the way, Postman, he knows these things. Chico State is a party school. My stepbrother went there in 95 and lasted 5 weeks until he came home with his tail between his legs. Hey, you know what? You go ahead and adjust accordingly. Speaking of adjusting accordingly, Barry, you didn't have to pay the piper again. But yeah, Jillian with a G. There we go. You got it. Thank you. Thank you to you and Mary and to everyone who offers up the supers. And I don't know where we got to push it real good. Thank you very, very much. What else we got going on here? The chat is chatting. Sean Turner goes, the NBA is unwatchable. Nah, I love basketball. To me, there's no such thing as unwatchable basketball unless Indiana's playing at Iowa this past weekend, in which case, good God, man, the amount of times Mike Woodson gets blown out in a Big Ten game, it's why he's not the right guy for the job. I'm afraid to say it. I hate to say it. Anyway, while you were just sitting around watching NFL playoff action, I'm sure you could not help but notice, if you were online, if you were on social media, that anything that Justin Herbert did or didn't do, some people tried to make it a referendum about who Brock Purdy is or isn't. And all I can tell you is that if every single time you watch a football game, all you come up with is a Brock Purdy comment or diss, it just shows what a one-trick pony you must be. It's ridiculous how the constant hourly reevaluation of this guy has polarized any attempt at a rational, reasonable conversation about where the 49ers are in their quarterback challenge, in their search, in the fact that they've got one, but people don't want him to be the one. It's crazy. So Justin Herbert, who truly is a prototype for what you would want out of a draft prospect, Justin Herbert is now 0-2 in the playoffs. And he just completed his 5th NFL season. He's 0-2 in the playoffs. Purdy, in half the time in the league, is undefeated in the wild card round. He is undefeated in the divisional round. He is 1-1, but it took an injury to send him to the loss column, as much as it was bad play that sent the 49ers to the loss column that day. But he's won a championship in conference play and, lost the only attempt that he had at a Super Bowl. But when we go back through that game footage, is it really Brock Purdy's fault that the 49ers lost that game? I think it's tough. I saw somebody say, had Justin Herbert been the 49ers quarterback, they would have beaten the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they wouldn't even have gone to the playoffs this year if he'd been the Charger quarterback. All right, well, let's just completely ignore the fact that Justin Herbert is 2-7 lifetime against the Chiefs and has never won a playoff game. But you're telling me you guarantee that they would have won the Super Bowl? I find that a little hard to believe. I think the lesson is this. Eventually, you have to stop evaluating the prospect and evaluate the player based on the player's production. And if you want to make this a let's measure Brock Purdy versus Justin Herbert conversation only, I think it's pretty interesting that you've chosen that. Because, a lot of people say that Justin Herbert, what he's so good at is not turning the ball over. And he just went the entirety of the regular season with only 3 interceptions. That's very impressive. But then he gets to the postseason and he throws 4 in one game. In the history of football, has there ever been a guy with more postseason interceptions than regular season interceptions? I don't know if that has ever happened before it's happened this year to Justin Herbert. 3 in the regular season, 4 in just one postseason loss. That's extraordinary. And all I can tell you is that if Brock Purdy ever threw 4 interceptions in a playoff game, there'd just be a level of panic and it would be insufferable. Like, God, please don't let that ever happen. I don't think the 49ers fan base could deal with it. When I look at Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert, though, you have one prototype against a guy who defies the prototype, just in terms of body types, size, speed, arm strength, all of these things. 79 career games for Justin Herbert in the NFL, 40 for Brock Purdy. So it's basically 80 and 40, twice the career for Herbert. He's played 5 seasons. Brock has played 2.5. Go and look at their statistics and where they are. Brock Purdy almost is Justin Herbert halfway through his same amount of playing time as Justin Herbert's had. All of Justin Herbert's career numbers through 5 seasons, if you cut them in half, are essentially identical to the numbers that Brock Purdy has put up in 2.5 years. They're almost mirror reflections of each other. So stop telling me that they're so different when one is completely on pace of the other. Well, this is about postseason play, and Herbert will be better in postseason play than Brock, except that hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. As a matter of fact, guess who's never won a postseason game? Justin Herbert. Guess who's won 4 of them? Brock Purdy. Now, at the same time, you might say, if every GM was just drafting and those were the only 2 choices that they had right now, knowing all of that, they're still going to pick Justin Herbert. And I'm not even saying that's wrong. I like Justin Herbert a lot. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think that he is going to be someone who you can win big with. But I also think the same of Brock Purdy. There are different ways to skin a cat. There are different ways to go about having the quarterback that fits your situation well. Brock Purdy and the Niners fit each other's situations very well. Justin Herbert and the Chargers seem to have fit each other's situations pretty darn well, right up until all the chips were on the table in a playoff game, and Justin Herbert pissed down his own leg. Talk about all of Brock Purdy's struggles and losses. Talk about all of games where Brock Purdy has might left you a little bit more disappointed than appreciative of what you just saw. How often is it the result of Brock directly pissing down his own leg? You know, there's been some moments for sure. It's not all perfect. It ain't all glorious. But I guess the whole point is, if this weekend taught you nothing, sports fans, is how hard this all really is. Football is a difficult sport. You can have it mastered. You can be a prototype. You can be someone that we all agree is much better than the other guy. And you can still fall flat on your face in the postseason. The NFL is brutal. It is literally designed to disintegrate your progress, your excellence, your learning of the league. Football is there to beat you up. And we saw a lot of teams beat up. I'll tell you, coming out of this weekend, it was one of the closer on the scoreboard games, yet at the same time, it wasn't a close game at all. The Eagles so beat up the Green Bay Packers, I think the Packers had to take an ambulance back to Wisconsin. I mean, they got their asses kicked in the level of there is a Packer going down by the series, physically beaten by the Eagles. And even though that game was a one-possession shouting distance game late, and it didn't feel like it would be, the Packers were still nowhere in that game. And Jordan Love wasn't particularly good. And I have listened to all kinds of segments about how much better Jordan Love would be than Brock Purdy could ever be. Again, we keep on seeing not opinions, but results tell us Brock is pretty good at this. I read this on Wake Up. I want to read it to you again. I'm so sick and tired of using any 4 quarters of football to evaluate a career. I'm so sick and tired on a weekly, daily, play-by-play referendum on who is good and who's not good in this league. It drives me nuts. You got to take a bigger than ground level view. You got to get bird's eye and take a look at everything we know about a guy to evaluate what you say is everything you know about a guy. Because one afternoon of football can never contain everything you need to know about a guy. Since Brock Purdy took over as a starter, so this is evaluating 40 games of football plus postseason action. Since Brock Purdy took over as a starter, he ranks 4th in the NFL in QBR, 6th in passing yards, 1st in yards per attempt. He's tied for 1st in expected points added per dropback. He's 7th in passing touchdowns, and that includes this season where the 49ers almost went out of their way to employ a team that never caught touchdowns. Brock Purdy gets a normal production year out of throwing the ball, which he didn't get this year. I mean, his numbers would be even better than that. And his numbers are pretty damn good. He is maybe not your cup of tea, but he's a warm cup of tea that delivers enough caffeine to get the job done and wake you up in the morning. You want Earl Grey, and he is what? Spearmint? Well, it might not be your flavor, but it'll get the job done. And I'm so sick and tired of every single game in football being a referendum about Brock Purdy. What should Brock make? I tell you, if you do want to draw a line between what is similar about him and Justin Herbert in 2023 signed a 5-year, $262.5 million contract extension. Now, that made Herbert the highest paid quarterback in the game per annual average value. And again, that changes so often. I don't know if that still exists. I don't even care. Here's what I know. If 2 years ago, Herbert was getting 262 over 5, and he still hasn't won a playoff game, Brock is getting a 5-year deal, probably in that 280 range. Now, the Niners need to cook in some escape hatches to that, but I think you are going to front load a Brock contract. And then, as our interview on Friday with Kyle Posey said, you're going to build in some ghost years that either become real years into that contract or not, because you did decide to move on. But I really don't think that you need to worry about Brock Purdy being the reason why the 49ers can no longer put a competitive football team on the field because the cap's going to grow. And it's just the NFL will allow these teams to put good players around good quarterbacks. It's going to happen. The cap is going to grow. And then it's going to keep growing. And then just when you think it's not going to grow anymore, it's going to grow again. That's the way it works. So everyone needs to just calm down. Michael Diaz says, Damon, too many people belittle Brock because of his size and his arm strength. But I think Brock is good enough with Kyle to win it all. I think more people would blame Kyle for the Super Bowl loss than Brock. And yeah, I would agree with you, Michael. You know, can you have postseason success together? The answer on Brock is definitively yes. He is already the third winningest postseason quarterback in the history of this franchise. You know who the other two are. I think you can win. I think you can win with Brock. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Had Nick Bosa made a tackle of Patrick Mahomes on 4th and short, there's already a 6th Lombardi trophy in the case, and Brock is a made man. You know, but it wasn't Brock that missed that tackle. It wasn't Brock that decided, yeah, we want the ball first in overtime. I'm just so sick and tired of the referendum over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like not liking Brock Purdy, but being a 49ers fan. That must be an awful lot like being a NASCAR fan who hates gasoline. Like, how do you even exist? Why do you bother watching a sport where you hate something that is going to be part of the sport for a very, very long time? I don't think Brock's going anywhere, kids. And neither should you. Neither should anybody, based on everything he's done and based on everything that the team is telegraphing you that they're about to do. Again, at some point, you have to stop worrying about the prospect and focus on the players and what they're delivering on game day. Brock Purdy will never be a great prospect, but he might be a great quarterback. He might be. Little housekeeping for the 49ers outside of the Dennis Allen, I guess, is a name that is being talked about as a possible defensive coordinator solution for down in Santa Clara. Matt Mayoko this weekend said that the 49ers had completed an interview with Lions assistant special teams coach Jet Modkins for the team's vacant special teams coordinator position. Modkins currently works under Dave Phipp, who's considered one of the best in the business. Sure, go ahead. Does that mean that there is no seat for Nick Sorensen in a game of musical chairs if you're going to keep Sorensen? I don't really care. I'm not married to Nick Sorensen one way or the other. If he came back in an assistant role somehow, some way, sure, whatever. But there's going to be new eyes on this team, and there needs to be. So, yeah, give me the new eyes of a young special teams coordinator. It sounds good to me. I won't pretend that I know Jet Modkins' reputation beyond the report that has been shared by Matt Mayoko. All right. What's on your TV tonight? What are you going to do when your fanny hits the couch and you need a little something to watch tonight? Well, let me tell you. At 4:30, we got Warriors at Raptors. Warriors at Raptors. Toronto is 8-31. If the Warriors can't win this road game, it's going to be hard to assume that they're going to win any road game, especially their next one in Minnesota. Warriors have split the first two games of their 4-game road trip, again in Minnesota on Wednesday, Toronto tonight, and they're back at Chase Center to play the Wizards on Saturday. Then their next game after that is going to be on Martin Luther King Jr. Day at home against the Boston Celtics, a matinee game. So some tough games coming up for the Warriors. They need to pick up a win in Toronto tonight. The San Jose Sharks, let's see, they're not playing tonight. They're going to be back tomorrow in Detroit. The Sharks have lost 3 in a row. They're 2-11 in their last 13 games. Inglorious indeed. So there's not a lot going on tonight. Oh, that's right. A huge NFL playoff game is happening in Arizona tonight. So you're also going to have Rams and Vikings. This is going to be a referendum on Sam Darnold, right? What does Sam Darnold do in this game? If Sam Darnold turns into a pumpkin and goes back to being the I'm going to turn the ball over maybe twice tonight, Sam Darnold, the Vikings are in trouble. If he's not that guy, let's see. I kind of like the Rams. I don't know why I like the Rams, but I kind of like the Rams in this game. So let's say that game is over and the Warriors are out of the way. And again, the Sharks aren't even playing and you need something else to watch on TV. I got to tell you about a movie that Jillian and I watched over the weekend where we were both like, holy shit. And we have now talked about this movie for at least 2 to 3 hours after it is ended because we keep on coming back to things that we were impressed by or liked about. Let's see. Does anyone have any guesses as to what this might be? I teased it with Kruger on Wake Up. He's like, you're not going to tell me what movie you're recommending? I said, no. Maybe on Wednesday when I come back to you. I have a serious recommendation for you. The Substance with Demi Moore. A+. The movie she just won the Golden Globes for, right? Demi Moore is so good in this, and so is everyone else in this, that even though it is technically a horror movie, and by the way, I'm not a big horror guy. It almost transcends the genre of horror movie and just needs to be evaluated as, is this a great movie? Yes or no? It's a great movie. It delivers on so many different levels. It is clever the whole way through. It is an homage to a lot of horror movies. The director of this is clearly a Stanley Kubrick fan. There are so many angles that are so Shining inspired in this. Long, foreboding hallways. I mean, that's Shining right there. Antiseptic bathrooms. That's The Shining right there. There's an homage to Carrie at the end of this for sure. It's a classic. I think there's an homage to The Thing, the John Carpenter horror movie for sure. It's A+. And if I still haven't sold you, but here, by the way, here is Michelle Haberman. Oh my God, I was going to say The Substance because I watched it and holy fucking shit. Yeah, Michelle. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. And by the way, I love Demi Moore. She made a great speech at the Golden Globes. Well, if you love Demi Moore, she is an awful lot of naked in this, and Demi still got it. And then let me just say that the other character that plays the other version of Demi Moore, whoever that girl is one of the best looking naked women you will ever see in your life. Like Demi Moore is supposedly representing the getting older aging process, and she's still got a fastball. She's still really got a fast. Demi Moore looks great. The other young actress in this, I don't even know her name. Holy mackerel. A+ movie. I mean, A+ movie. Watch it. I cannot recommend The Substance enough. You can get it for like $6.99 on Amazon right now, and I'm sure if you just waited another 3 weeks, it's going to be on some streaming service that you're already applying to or have, and you won't need to pay for it. But The Substance, it's got substance to it, for real. Like, it so transcends just the genre of horror movies, and all I can tell you is that Jillian, when it was over, she turned to me and she said, this movie so thoroughly examines the female psychoses of aging and value in society and does it in such a unique way that it's, again, I really liked it. My wife really likes it. What more do you want? And Sporticus saying, you're telling me I got red rum and nudity? Very intriguing. Sporticus, watch this movie, The Substance. Every single time you think you know which way it's going to zig, it zags. You think like, oh, this is a little predictable. This is going to be that, and no, it's really good, really good. Oh, and SGA Sports Talk says her name is Margaret Qualley. She's got some quality attributes. She's gorgeous. Whoever that, she's going to be a star. I don't know. I've never seen her in anything before this. A star is born for sure. Rockin' New Era, just to bring it back. So it zags, unlike Kyle Shanahan. See, Rockin', this is why we need you in the audience at all times. You center us, you bring us back to where we need to be. Yes. It knows how to zig and zag at the same time. By the way, here you go. Nailed it. Jillian and I have had the same analysis at the very end. Literally, wow. Old Dirty Hungus is saying Demi Moore is also in Landman, a Paramount. See, this is Ali Larder still as your fastball as well. Ali's in that. I heard that's the what's his name? Lawnmower blades, sling blade. What's his name? I'm just forgetting his name right now. Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton. There it was. Yeah, I heard that's really good. I've had a few people recommend Landman to me, so I do. I think I got to watch that. Yep. Now the Billy Bob. Thank you, E. Scott Burns. I'm glad I was able to do it without you. Again, I used to be Google before there was Google. What do we got here? Another recommendation, or at least a question. This is from Christopher. Damon, have you watched Perfect Days? No, I have not watched Perfect Days, but I've seen a few people suggest that. So I might have to investigate. It's hard to pick up series. When you got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, it's hard to pick up a series. It's very rare that Jillian and I can just get 2 hours to watch a movie. But again, if you got about 2 hours to watch a movie, I highly recommend The Substance. By the way, I also highly recommend you be there on your day. Your son has his first flag football game. Jack played his first ever flag football game. How fun that was for him, for me. It was great. It was great. We had a great time. He really enjoyed it. He loved it. I loved it. His first jersey with his name on his back. He's psyched. He's psyched. It was great. Oh, Perfect Days is a movie. Yeah, I would have said this too here, Rockin'. I've seen Perfect Strangers. Absolutely. You want to go down the greatness of Balki Bartakamos? Barry comes in again. More for the ganja jar. Got birthday number 63 on Thursday. How about a birthday pound it, and whoa, come on. Oy, oy, oy. I'll tell you what on Barry. On your 63rd birthday, we will have a bottle of whiskey down here, and we will give you an absolutely proper birthday bottle pull celebration send-off for your birthday, because when I think of daily viewers in the circle of love, Barry Ford, my man in Memphis, you are certainly right in there. Thank you so very, very much. For all your love and support and your patronage and picking up merch. So we will celebrate your 63rd properly on Thursday. I promise you that. Meanwhile, who's ready for a little history lesson? We got a fun one today. It's a fun day in history today. Starting with the fact that today, in 1863, Thomas Crapper invented the portable toilet. Again, where are you bringing portable toilets? in 1863. I guess, you need to bring him there too. Thomas Crapper invented a portable toilet. Was his portable toilet like flushable? Was his portable toilet just like a box over a bowl? I don't know, but thank you, Thomas Crapper. Obviously, the word crap and crapper are, forever united because of this moment in 1863. So next time you're having a little private time, think today is a great day in the history of pooping. So congratulations to everybody. Let's see. Today in 1906, the very first radio set that was advertised, it was called Telemaco. It was on sale in a Scientific American magazine for $7.50. The very first radio set ever advertised could be picked up for $7.50 today in 1906. Just in time to have enjoyed the Chicago Cubs winning the 06 World Series. That's about $265 in today's dollars. $7.50 back in 1906 was worth about $265 today. So, obviously a big price point there, but approachable, not unthinkable. Also today, in inventing shit history, the U.S. patent number 3359678 was issued today in 1967. It was issued to a company called Whammo. It was for the first ever Frisbee. The first ever Frisbee by Whammo was patented today in 1967, and if that's not significant information, I don't know what is. That's worth celebrating from a historic standpoint indeed. Let's see what else we got. Those random, today is, chocolate milkshake day, or today is go fly a kite day, or whatever. We got two really random ones today. January 13th is French Bulldog Day. I used to really like the French Bulldog. Then the French Bulldog just became like the only dog being rocked in San Francisco. The French Bulldog was cute to see, and then they just became everywhere. And I'm kind of over French Bulldogs now. I'm over them. I'm over French Bulldogs. I like the concept of a French Bulldog more than I like the city's execution of French Bulldog ownership, because it went from, hey, isn't that a cute little strange looking dog, to I've seen this dog everywhere I look now. So I'm over French Bulldogs. You could say I'm a little skeptical of French Bulldogs, which also ties into the fact that today is also Skeptics Day. But I don't trust that. See, there's the joke right there. It's Skeptics Day, but I don't trust that. I don't know how it became Skeptics Day, but it is. The single most important thing to ever happen on today, January 13th, in the history of our country, happened in 1968 when Johnny Cash, in front of about 2,000 inmates in Folsom, recorded his famous Folsom County Jail Show. The live album recorded in prison by Johnny Cash happened today in 1968. And again, with all due respect to John Crapper, the Frisbee, French Bulldogs, Skeptics, and Frisbees, and radios, Johnny fucking Cash. That's what happened today. And that's it for our show today. Thank you so much for watching this Monday show. It is good to have you. Great to see you. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, maybe you do that on the way out. Maybe you think of becoming a member. Maybe you think of picking up a little merch. But just by hitting like and subscribe, you do an awful lot to help the channel, as are supporting my sponsors, starting with BetUS. Oh, yes, right now, use promo code YouTube150 when you sign up over at BetUS. We thank my pal Ike of Ike's Sandwiches. Again, I just had a delicious Adam Richmond yesterday. Kitchen sink goes on that sandwich. Kitchen sinks have never tasted any better. Delicious. And thanks so much to the Dubliner West Portal as well. Thank you to all of you for watching. And please do remember, as you go about your day, that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's